Good morning everyone. Today's reading is going to be Transformation Snapshot, you before and after this relationship. You've got three choices as usual. You've got the Swedish horse for number one. For number two, you've got the Swedish lady, little girl, and you've got the Swedish boy for number three. So if you want to take your choice, then we'll get going.
La música de Harry Fraud.
I'm not going to start summing this up, although there's a lot of cards here, so I'm going to go through it slowly, but I'm dying to sum it up. To me, I'm just about to sum it up. It feels like strength is gained in this relationship from your side. Looking at them initially in the relationships, they're coming up as the Page of Wands. This is somebody who may not be particularly at home in relationships. The Wands cards, they're not emotional cards, and this is like a battered down version of the King of Wands. And he's following, or she's following, probably directions by the light of the moon, which to me looks in the distance. So this to me feels like somebody who's not at home in relationships, somebody who doesn't really relate that easily, but not a bad soul, just somebody who is just doing their best with what they've got, and they think that may be enough. I don't know, but they've got the Knight of Pentacles here. To me, when I put these cards out, and this is the energy they're pushing outwards, it's nice, it's sweet, but compared to your energy, it feels like you're putting more into it at the moment. This feels as if this person's steady. It feels like they've got quite an innocent soul that may be quite new to relationships. They don't possibly as yet engross themselves or immerse themselves in situations with gusto. It just feels like somebody who trickles along, and that may be part of their personality anyway. Somebody that's very steady, somebody that's quite controlled, and somebody that doesn't like too much show. Now you're coming out in this relationship at the moment as the Ace of Cups. It feels like you're somebody who likes life to be quite big, likes to express their emotions, or likes things to move in a way that feels like it's fun and it's exciting. This is more the type of personality of somebody who watches musicals and believes it's true. You know, that Ace of Cups is like love and fantasy and expectations all rolled into one in a personality to me. Somebody who's quite expressive. You know, somebody, you may like drama, you may like acting, you may be quite creative. It feels like somebody with a big heart who likes other people, to show other people. You know, you could even be like Leo. You could be all of them. You could be everything here. But your energy and what you're pushing at the moment, the Three of Swords makes me feel that that poor little cup has somehow got a crack in it and it's all dribbling out. It feels like you're not getting back the energy that you are actually pushing into this relationship. It doesn't feel like argumentative. It just feels like this could generally be the beginning of a relationship when you've seen somebody that you're attracted to. You know, and you're full of expectations and excitement and possibilities, and they're just very steady personality. So it could, you know, it doesn't have to be like a really hard love story. It could just be the beginnings. It could just be like sweet beginnings, and you've got a more I was going to say voluptuous nature. I was going to say more passionate nature, probably. But it's, to me, it feels like it's on the verge of hurting with the Three of Swords there, because that's not an easy card to have next to the Ace of Cups. So you could get that. It gives me an impression that you're wondering whether you're going to be giving out too much and getting too little back. Now, the situation between the pair of you is the Lovers. And this is at the moment. This is not how the situation develops. You may be lovers. You may have been lovers. When it feels to me as if there's attraction there, but there's two different personalities. Your person feels very much somebody, when they're going through their everyday and conversing with other people, will talk about mundane things like curtains, houses, work, job, travel to work, you feel as if you're somebody that likes to talk about passions and excitement, things that you've read and art that you've seen, and what you're doing next that really lights you up. So sometimes this mixture can be really good, because this mixture could ground this mixture here, which is you. And then you could bring something into this person's life which is much missing as well, which is just a sense of how to basically push outside their boundaries and their comfort zone. So, you know, two things like that do dwell together. But at the moment, there's a feeling here, there's a strong connection between the pair of you, the lovers here. There's a feeling here that could possibly already, you know, you could be in a sexual relationship. You could just basically have a pull between each other that is very, very strong, and you're meant to be together for some reason. And that's maybe where this comes in, where you feel that it should be moving faster and you're giving more than they are. Right. So after the connection, let's just say that the connection is waning, and what's going to happen afterwards, you know, this may have already happened, I don't know. So before and after, or during and after, they're coming across, to me it feels like shitty the words I was thinking here. You got the Two of Wands and the Seven of Swords. I mean, I don't know if this word shirty is when you're a bit angry. So the Two of Wands, to me, it feels like tension, and you've got the electricity there, and that's like stalemate. The Seven of Swords is, to me, feels like wishful thinking. I wish I'd done this. I wish I'd done that. And this has this feeling of steadiness, and this has a feeling of frustration. So this man or this woman or this person in your life feels like they wish they'd done more afterwards. And it's annoying, and it's that type of feeling here when they look back at their personality and wonder where it came up. You know, why didn't I do more? Am I too reticent? Am I too this? Am I too that? And it feels, to me, it feels, you know, when you wake up in the morning and something's annoying you, and it's something really trivial, but it's still there, and then you actually look back and you think, oh my God, it's because I don't know, I'm trying to think something ridiculous there, because the toothpaste was empty. And nobody bought any more toothpaste. This feels like that. It's like it was always niggling at them. There's something they didn't quite do, something they didn't quite give, or they didn't quite express in a relationship that is going to almost like pick at them for quite a long time. And this is the one that becomes internal, this one here. The Seven of Swords, to be internal, would be something's been taken from me. So if you moved on to somebody else, that would hurt. It's something unfair that's happened. So, and there's nothing probably more unfair than somebody that gives out love and somebody that expresses themselves, and then you see them with somebody else, because you know they're getting those bits that you weren't quite altogether enough to be able to let into your life. So that's difficult. Right, you're coming out much better with regards to after the relationship, if that's what is happening or going to happen, I don't know, because you've got the karmic release. It's almost a case of you gave your 100%, so you're relaxed with it. I often think this with regards to, you know, in bigger terms of people who are in your life that pass away. I mean, all we can do is, even if these people are really hard and testers, your person doesn't feel like they test you. Your person feels like they've just got a different personality to you, and they express themselves in a different way that may appear a bit cooler. But with a karmic release card on a bigger term, if you have somebody in your life who is difficult, but they want to take you off the track of who you want to be, and you're still being this, it's like when they're out of your life, whether it's somebody that's died or a relationship that's passed away, is in like, you know, just out of your vicinity in some way, it's like you can live it easy with yourself, because you know you gave it. You gave your 100%, and you also know that you were the person that you wanted to be. So you come across as being really relaxed in this. They come across as probably getting a bigger lesson out of the whole situation than you did. And the Eight of Cups here, and this is what you bring inside yourself. These cards here, this is you pushing out into the world and what you're giving, and that to me feels quite painful. That's what they're pushing out. And after the relationship, this is what you internalize with the Eight of Cups here, and that's the ability to walk away. The ability to walk away with what feels like a sense of pride and a sense of almost like, you know, doing up a zip on those like freezer bags. You know, like you do, it's like, okay, finished. It's done. I can't do any more. And it feels like a release here. And what you get from this is the King of Pentacles at the end, which is strength. And that's your strength of, you know, this karmic release card here, of just doing what you can in that given moment. And that knowing that's it, without tantrums or, you know, huge amount of tears. But I mean, there must be some, without tantrums and tears and blame and projection. And why aren't you this? Why aren't you that? When you're just turning up as you and doing what you do, and so are they. And, you know, can you fit together or can you not? And I think it's your person that actually pays the price at the end of it, because they're not expressing themselves enough, where you feel quite open. You feel like a more volatile person to me, somebody that loves big, and it can sometimes hurt. But this to me feels like a nice relationship. It just feels like there's differences here. Or it has been a nice relationship. It feels like you've loved each other for your differences anyhow. But in everyday life, you know, when they keep popping up over and over again, it can be a little bit grating. There feels also as well that it gets to a point where you could possibly get fed up of feeling like you may be making, with the Seven of Wands here, one of you always feels like you're making the move, which with you, with this energy, could be you. I'm not saying this relationship is going to pass away. This is more like a reading, you know, if it has already passed away, or where the hiccups may come, but doesn't mean it's like, you know, hung, drawn and quartered and that's the end of it. But I'm just saying what you can put into it to get the best out of it. And this has, to me, has a sense of maturity, a sense of doing exactly what you can in each moment and being the best person you can in each moment, which is really hard. And then you've got the ability here, or the pride, to move away if you get to that point where you feel that this isn't serving me anymore. And I think it's them that, to me, this feels the energy of somebody who's really sort of contracted in some way, and it may just be their makeup. Their whole family could be the same. But, you know, some families just don't express emotions very well. And it's not they don't express it very well. They think they're expressing it. They just don't have them. They just don't. Some people just don't. And because if you're coming across with this energy here, and there's a connection between the pair of you, you're always expecting this back from somebody else, but they may not have it inside themselves. They may have grown up in a very sort of controlled atmosphere. To me, this energy feels like people, families who can give in different ways, families that are there to provide when somebody needs something, rather than sharing emotions and crying over things together. There's a guy who lives across the road here who's he's Virgo, which is, to me, this is what this could feel like, and he's just sold his house so that he can give the money to his kids who are grown up, 3 boys grown up. But one of the boys who still lives here, the boys have moved away, is a bit rough. He's a bit wild. But when his dad needs something, he will be there, and he's hands-on and fixing things. You know, he will be there, and he's just always there doing things and helping, and he will like build something for his dad. There's just different ways of giving, different ways of expressing, is what I'm trying to say here. So this person may be the person that you can call on when you need something in the real world, rather than possibly emotions. Depends what you know, who you are and what makes you tick. It may not be enough with this feeling here. But anyway, to sum this up, pile number 1, with regards to transformation snapshot, it seems to me like it sounds like Scooby-Doo, doesn't it? It feels to me that you end up, if this relationship possibly does move apart, you come out in a better place. Because you come out having, what I guess, more lessons, seeing that you've done everything and ticking it and thinking, satisfied, that's okay, I can move on. They feel as if their actions or lack of actions are almost going to play a part in the next relationship, whether it's this life with the current release or the next. I know I sound like Gladiator there. They're not satisfied with the way that they acted and the things that they didn't do. Well, you're like, that's it, done, dusted, okay, fine. There may be lessons go both way here with the King of Pentacles here. The slight lesson is for you to possibly be a little bit more practical and know that people may be different and may give in different ways and accept love in different ways. Just because it is the King of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles here. But to me, the overall message in this snapshot is that you gain strength, you gain acceptance, and you gain the confidence to be able to call the shots when you think that it's done. Okay, I'm going to leave that there, but before I go, remember this is a transformation snapshot. If your relationship is still going, don't pay too much attention. Don't think it's going to end. It just may be the qualities that you bring in, or the disposition of the person that you're with that may actually help you there. So don't feel it's negative, because to me this is not negative. It's complete opposite, especially for you. It's more like be more of yourself. Okay, pile number 1, I'm going to go. Thank you very much. Bye. Okay, pile number 2. Hi pile number 2. I'm just going to summarize it very slightly, the feeling I've got as I'm putting this out, then I will go through each card. There's a really strong feeling here that you have lessons on how to love freely. In the last pile, it was more a case the other person has lessons, no, not so much that, but regret not doing it. This has got a feeling here that you get the chance, the opportunity, a transformation here to show you how to express yourself in love. I'll tell you why. Your person's coming across not as an easy breezy person. They're coming across here as the Mask card here, as a personality, which is a difficult one to start off with, because the Mask quality is a feeling of somebody that's putting on a persona, and then you've got the Six of Wands next to it with regards to what they're giving out. This person may be naturally, but it feels to me not. Somebody who could come across as quite confident, somebody who could be trying to come across as confident, or could be quite cocky in some way. There's a feeling here, there's part of them that you may not have discovered with the Mask card there. There's a part possibly that they don't like to show, or there's a part that they feel maybe unlovable, possibly in some way. But with the energy they're giving out, the Six of Wands could be taken in 2 different ways. It could be somebody who's overly confident, or it could be somebody who is trying to put on a persona where they're accepted in social situations, or just somebody who bigs you up or makes you feel good. There's a possibility of all 3 there, but part of that is not natural. It doesn't feel like devious. It just feels like they're not at ease with something in their personality where they try and cover it by being confident. I'm not sure what yet. Let me just keep going. You're coming across as the Hierophant here. So to me, you would see through this. The Hierophant card to me feels collected and grounded and easygoing, but fair and structured. So it feels like you're no nonsense to me with the Hierophant card there. It feels like you can see through it, but you let it be, possibly, because you've got your back turned here as if you're not bothered. You're just basically moving forward and that's it. So I don't know whether you know your person from a public situation with the Six of Wands and the Mask card here, where they have to put on a different face, where you see them in the public or acting with other people and they're always light and breezy or charming, or they're really good looking, everybody knows and wants a little bit of them. That's what it feels like, and it feels like you can see through it at the moment, and you're not bothered. You're just you, steady, grounded and there. Now, with regards to the energy you push out, the Knight of Wands, it's probably what I would say out of these cards here so far, the best card, because the Knight of Wands is somebody who's got the kind-hearted moose with 2 little birds on the top. It's like somebody who can relate in a way that's maybe how you do relate. Okay, you can relate in a way that is quite personable and quite funny and quite, like slightly full on and jokey type of thing. So you may have met each other in some sort of public situation where you both had personas on, possibly, then more so than you. No, you probably didn't. It was just them. But there was that, when you're all like chirpy and chatty, and it just feels like it's exciting. To me, this feels like you're not normally bothered by people's charm. You're somebody who can look people in the eye, whether they're like rich, famous, doesn't really matter, and you're not, you know, you're not moved by it much. But it feels like this person is a little less steady inside themselves, but you've attached to each other because this is the energy you're pushing out, and both are fiery, both are confident, and both are warm. So you've attached in a way that feels really good. But what you've got here, the Eight of Swords, so I don't know. I don't know here. The Eight of Swords with regards to what's going on between you here is anxiety. So have you communicated in some way, or is there like is the person off bounds is probably what I'm thinking here. This person can't actually reveal themselves because there's people watching, maybe a scenario here. But with the Eight of Swords here, is there's anxiety below the surface, more so with them because they've got the mask. So that's what I'm picking up initially with regards to two personalities. You are more controlled, more contained. They are more public face persona. I've got it on and I'm doing it type of feeling here, and they come across, you know, really well. You come across really well as well, and that may be how you've attached. It's like an airs and graces that you put on, you know, like your telephone voice. Hello. Hello. It's that type of feeling, but it's worked between the pair of you because it's just kicked off. It sounds like fun. It feels like, this to me feels like smiley winky. That sounds rude, doesn't it? It's like smiley winky type of connection, you know, where you're like winking and laughing at each other across a room, and there's a bit of strutting, there's a bit of peacocking, there's just a bit of fun going on. But below it, and this could also be, especially with this, you've had time to think, and you know, one of you, maybe them, has been able to ham up the whole situation between the pair of you, and is anxious about the next meeting. So this could be what's going on at the moment, or they're actually not as easy breezy in love relationships as they are in normal situations. You're more at ease with yourself, more relaxed, more self-contained, more if it's not in front of me, I'm not really going to think about it too much. They may be somebody who overthinks things that aren't actually in front of them at the moment, and they can become quite anxious and push their thoughts forward and make something out of it that's not there yet. Now, this is where it turns into after the relationship. So you can interpret this as the relationship's not there anymore. I don't want you to twist it negatively if it's still there, because these are just like possibilities. Remember, the lesson in this at the bottom is the Sacred Heart throughout all this, and this is somebody, you know, with the Strength card for you here, especially you, is the need and the feel and the never regretting loving. It's just giving out your love. That wasn't very good English, but it's somebody who loves big, loves because that's who they are, not what they're going to get back here with the Sacred Heart. Okay, with this card over here for them with regards to after the relationship, Ace of Wands is they're still being a big person. They're still very much, you know, what feels like in the public eye, or moving or expressing themselves. You make them anxious, I think. And what happens after the relationship? Okay, you feel like a bit of a wake-up call to this person with regards to how they act in love compared to how they act in normal everyday situations. Your person seems quite confident in normal everyday situations, but possibly when it comes to love relationships and this anxiety card here, and you coming across okay, they may actually feel as if you've taught them a lesson, because all eyes are on them, even though they've still got the Ace of Wands here. They may be big-hearted. They may have that ability to push out in life and to make everything fun and pull people along with them. But with this card here, with regards to possibly there's a face here going on, anxiety. There's something with regards to how they relate in close relationships that they find difficult. And if you left them, or if this relationship disappeared, you would leave them thinking a lot about that. You're coming across as the Strength and the Sacred Heart. So to me, a bit like pile number one, and you've got the King of Cups here for the energy that you internalize after the relationship. It's very similar to pile number one. It feels like confidence and the ability to love without asking for anything back, and almost like an admiration of yourself and your love nature, basically what you give to people, because the Knight of Cups is romantic. So that to me, when I interpret romance, it's like seeing beauty in people, seeing beauty in everything, and being able to give it out yourself and to accept it back, but not, to be honest, with the Sacred Heart takes a little bit beyond normal love relationships when we actually always want something back. It's almost like that karmic feeling in pile number 1, which you may want to watch that one as well because it's similar, with the Strength card here, that feels as if you become more of a gentleman or gentlewoman, and in a true sense of the word, and that's like respect for others and respect for yourself. It feels like, what did I watch the weekend? Kingsman. You know, well, there's like codes of conduct. That's what the Strength card feels like to me. It feels like there's a code of conduct inside yourself that you have the ability to express in a much bigger way through practicing in this relationship, that basically makes you feel better about who you are inside and what you're giving. This, to me, if this relationship does go, to me it doesn't feel like one you'll ever regret, with the Six of Cups at the end and you having the Sacred Heart and the Knight of Cups here. It's a lot to do. You learn a lot of lessons here with regards to how you deal with your emotions. This is quite beautiful. With the Six of Cups here, to me it's like looking back into the past and that little boy giving that little girl the little cup. And it's like, oh, you know, in the garden, oh, so sweet. It feels like what you get from this person, it may be tempered with some form of them not being able to give enough because they feel that they're not enough. But you can almost, when this relationship, if it does simmer, I'm not saying it is, but you will always look back and think, you won't think bad of them. What you will be mainly identifying with is a sense of, I'm going to say regality there within yourself, which probably is what I mean with the Strength card there. It's admiration for your ability to love and be loved and not hold back, because this holding back is referring to their mask. And that this is where they're questioning themselves, but you help them along the line. It feels like you just being yourself and leaving them questioning themselves here. Even though they've got a big nature, it feels like the Ace of Wands here. They're almost like still trying to do it in the next relationship, whether it's this life or the next. And I said that in pile number 1, and I know I sound like Gladiator. It feels like there's always something they're trying to do. It's like relationship comes and there's a slight anxiety there. Will I be able to make this work? Will they like me? Will they love me? And you're like, I'm doing it. This is me. This is what you get. I'm trying to make you feel good. That's it. I'm trying to make you feel good, full stop. Giving out with the Strength card and the Sacred Heart. But this isn't like giving out in a Pisces way without boundaries where you feel drained at the end. This is giving out because that's what you do. And the Six of Cups is like appreciation, because that to me is looking back at the past. That's what your whole transformation plan is about, and thinking, I gave the cup or I accepted the cup. It can go either ways, and both can be difficult for people with this energy. Now, this is like the energy that they clam up when somebody's attracted back to them, although they can, you know, to me, the Six of Wands is somebody that whistles. Somebody that whistles at cars. Do you know what I mean? That type of big energy that's like Leo, and I'm thinking of Will Smith, you know, somebody you expect to compliment you, or they've just got that energy that gives out, but there's something behind this, which I have actually seen. I make this up, to be honest, but I'm sure Will Smith has this as well. There's something slightly, I pick up slightly hidden about him, because he reminds me of my cousin. And the reason I'm saying that is that my cousin used to, when I was in college, when I was young, and I used to walk home, he was a builder, he used to go past in his car with all his workmates and whistle at me, you know, like stupid whistling. They thought it was really funny. But he had a really big heart, but it all went terribly wrong as he got older. Really, really sad. So it feels like you allow this person who has got a big nature to look at themselves a little bit more, to help them into the next relationship, because that didn't happen with my cousin, and it was very, very sad ending. Very, very sad. Lots of very sadness. Lots of different scenarios there, which I won't talk about, but it was hard and upsetting. So your transformation in this relationship, your snapshot from where the relationship was to how it may possibly end, please don't take it as an end, it could just be a relationship that keeps rolling, has got something to do with you gaining confidence in yourself and how you express yourself, your ability to love, your ability to give, and your ability to give from deep down inside yourself. And it feels like, you know, it doesn't stop. It feels like with the sacred heart and the strength there, it's like no end to it. It's like the magic porridge pot of love. You know, it just keeps flowing and keeps flowing. I hope other people in different countries have read that story. It's a porridge pot that keeps giving porridge. You are the magic porridge pot of love. Oh yeah. And when you look back, you'll be happy for it. They will be happy that they've met you, that you will teach them so many lessons, but it feels like there's still work to be done with them. Okay, pile number 2, I'm going to finish there. Thank you. Bye. Okay, this is unusual on pile number 3. I can tell you what I'm thinking, then I go through the cards and see if I still think the same at the end of it. There's a feeling here of like setting a scene type of feeling here, that this relationship is setting a scene that may actually carry on later on, whether it is this, I've said this 3 times in these readings, and each time I sound like the gladiator, whether it is in this lifetime or the next, I don't know as yet. Here there's a feeling here that there could be a lot of watching and waiting going on. You may be working together or in a group situation together where things may not be expressed as yet. This one, unlike pile number 1, doesn't feel like a relationship that could be already in a physical relationship. It feels like something that's brewing, something that's starting, or something that's just in a process that may actually expand later on. Your person's coming across here as the 4 of Swords. To me, the 4 of Swords, with regards to their energy, this is them, could be laid off, or could be working from home, could be ill, could be tired, could be just retracted from life in somewhere where they need some peace and quiet. You may not have seen this person for a while. With regards to the energy that they're pushing out into this relationship, the Justice card is somebody, I think, that turns up in your life looking good and is very sociable, somebody who's easy to talk to, somebody who's quite charming, possibly somebody who's very good in groups. So that's the feeling I'm getting at the moment. So don't know if that feels right to you. Possibly distance, but somebody who in the past has been easy to get on with, and, you know, is just generally known as somebody who's quite charming, chatty, looks good, feels good, that type of feeling. Now you're coming across here, and this is more like a lead up rather than to what's going to happen, as the 4 of Cups as well. There's a similarity between your energy and your person's energy. So to me, I would interpret that as distance, as in both of you either busy doing something or busy doing nothing, but the contact isn't quite what you're used to or what you would want. Laid back, too laid back for me with both these cards here. With regards to what you give out in the relationship, the Sacred Heart, to me it feels like you're invested, and you're invested big time. It feels like you've seen this person, you probably think that they're the one that you could spend more time with the Sacred Heart there, because that to me is, the Sacred Heart makes me think of lifetimes past, and that is identifying somebody you think that you have a connection with. So it feels like a big connection, but to me it feels like there's distance between the pair of you. And with the 3 of Wands there, you may work together, but it's not expressed openly. And it doesn't have to be work, it's just a scenario where there's people around, there's a connection, you're bound together, you feel like you should be together, but to me with this distance here, there's a reason that you can't express it, I guess. So both of you giving out, but both of you probably in the physical world not able to get to each other, or this could be anything like, you know, COVID, illness, distance to do with, you know, seas, land, or just early contact. But this is recognition and beauty and expression and connection. Yours is more soulful, theirs is more surface level. And with the 3 of Wands here, with what you're both getting from it is connection, is, you know, you feel that there's a connection there that could give you some sort of stability in the future. as in a stable backdrop for a relationship if it's not already. Right after the relationship, so let's just say that this relationship peters out in some way, or even if, you know, you look back in 20 years time and see what, you know, what you both got from it. They're coming across here as the Magician card here. So the Magician card to me is, what my first thought there was like it's an early practice relationship. You know, maybe this person isn't that used to deep, you know, surface level relationships, communicating in groups or at parties or at work. But when it comes to love relationships, you may have, in some of the Magician card, allowed them to experience life to the full. To actually be, you know, engrossed in it and involved in it, rather than just thinking or touching, you know, skating over the surface. Excuse me. What they internalise with the Knight of Pentacles next to the Magician here are lessons, and I don't really know what type of lessons. I will need to put more cards on that, because that to me is taking in the big picture of actually being involved with somebody, but what they're internalising is the steps. It's like you help them practice a relationship and what to do in it, in a very sort of almost like building a wall. And I don't mean that it is a wall, but just in building something that's concrete. I need to go back to that. With regards to the transformation you'll experience in this relationship is huge, because you've got the shadow self and you're retracted, but you've got a big heart and you can feel the connection. So to me, this feels like control. And then you've got the karmic soul tribe for what you internalize. This relationship has a big impact on you in a way that possibly rumbles deep down into your, I'm going to make this up, base chakras, where those things that you want, those things that you need, those things that you like to taste, those things that you like to hold are almost dangled in front of you like little puppets, and you want them. But to me, it feels like the Seven of Swords at the bottom is that may not be possible, because you've got this connection here as well. So something may always be taken away from you, but there's a recognition here of, it's a bit like pile number one. It's a bit darker than pile number one, because it feels like the pull is stronger. It's quite obsessional in some way, possibly, with these cards here, because you feel like you're meant to be with this first person. It feels like, and I've said this on other readings, like tadpoles in a pond. Let's just say these ponds have got different vibrations, and somebody puts you into one pond and they vibrate, it doesn't fit in, so you jump out to the next one, and then you get to the pond where all your little matey tadpoles are, and you're all vibrating to the same sort of beat. This feels like you meet somebody who's the same beat as you, the same tadpole as you, but you can't quite get to them, and so that brings out lessons with you which are different. These are like rumbling lessons where you're watching and waiting. You feel the pull and you want more. And this one actually feels like it could end up in a good way if you want to be with this person, because your end card with regards to transformation is the Eight of Wands. So to me, it feels like you make some baby tadpoles. It feels like you meet your tadpole and you grow up into frogs in some way, that you expand, but it's not going to be easy. It feels like you almost have to jump over hurdles to get to this Eight of Wands here with the Seven of Cups. You know, there could be something with the Seven of Swords here and the shadow self. I don't know if I'd be incorrect in saying this, but there could be something what you may consider morally dubious with getting close to this person. Whether I can, you know, everybody's morals are different, aren't they? It could be taking somebody's wife or taking somebody's husband. It could be well, I'm glad I can't find things from morally dubious in my mind, which should be, if I had lots of them. I'm trying to think of the different things that are morally dubious. Oh, you may think so. I don't know if I don't know what I feel on these type of things. I don't know, it could be something really slight, like almost putting yourself into a position where they're there. You know, you may be a very proud person who expects somebody to come towards you, and you're watching this person, you want them, but you never go outside of that zone where you actually make the move. So it could be something like that doesn't feel incorrect internally to you. So it could be anything, because this doesn't feel right, and then there's lots of watching and waiting, and it feels quite you know, dark and lessons to be learned that feel tough. But then you've got karmic soul tribe here, that this person is, there's even a feeling here with these two close together, and that scenario of the vibrating tadpoles, that you become more of yourself by being with this person. That's where the lessons are learned with the shadow self and the Eight of Wands. Okay, the transformation in this one is bigger for you than them. And it wasn't so, I don't think, in the other two piles. This is huge transformation for you with regards to being more yourself. This person may allow you to be more yourself, even though they don't give out as much as you would like. This person is pretty, I guess, pretty comfortable with the Justice card there with others, you know, pretty easygoing, more easy flow, where you're coming across here as probably wanting more intensity, but you've got a big heart here, but you just don't know how to express it. So there could be some anxiety with expressing what I see a large capacity to give, because there could be different reasons for that. It could be that you feel that people are going to take advantage of you. It could be that people, you know, people with lots of fire in them or lots of Pluto on them, oftentimes when they get this energy, they feel that it won't be accepted to express their fire and their plutonic qualities, because they feel that it drowns people, it's too much, it's too strong. So to me, you may meet somebody who it allows you to be a little bit more of yourself, even if they're not totally like that. Yeah, they are. You're both quite similar. I wonder in this relationship whether you both keep yourselves really quiet because you both got strong natures. Your person's more charming and harder to pull out, doesn't know how to do it, and you help them earth that. You help them basically give them steps on how to do it without frightening people off, and they do the same for you. It's big, hidden. To me, the more I go into this, and this is like finding balance here with this three, it feels like two people who could be Scorpio, who could be, you know, strong fire and have been rebuked in their life in some way that has caused them to do this. So your transformation would be being able to find somebody with a soul tribe here in the shadow self, who allows you to dig inside yourself and realize that it's okay to have strong emotions. If you find somebody who's, you know, who's very similar to you, you may not have sniffed this yet. This might develop with this card here. But your person, in the same way, is having the same lessons. This is very similar. You're having the same lessons. He or she is learning to do it in steps, to reveal themselves gradually with the Justice card here. Because the Justice card is, to me, is quite surface level. You know, Libra likes to be, you know, it's quite, I can say this because I got Libra too, everybody has, I'm sure, but that likes to people please and likes things to be, you know, skating on the surface. But there's a stronger quality behind this, that they're allowed to express through you in small increments. And you basically just feel like the bits of you that you may feel aren't lovable but are strong, you're able to release that. And then I wonder whether this relationship, the transformation, may actually come in actually succeeding. And I was thinking, when I do this, like transformation snapshots before and after relationship, this has got an ability to maybe come back into your life if it's not there at the moment, which is a possibility. So this is a good one. Okay, I'm gonna sum it up very quickly, pile number 3, and I'm gonna leave you with that. This transformation in this relationship for you has got something to do with revealing your more intense nature, your darker qualities with somebody else that may come across initially like you, but deep down, the closer you get to them, the more you may realize that you're very similar. You are tadpoles in the same pond. You help your person by being able to express it in a more practical way, where yours is more a way of actually accepting the darker parts of yourself with these cards here, and then the fireworks come. Yeah, with those qualities and being able to express them, there's no surprises, fireworks at the end of this one. Okay, pile number 3, I'm going to leave you there. Thank you very much. Bye.